Jonathan Chan here. I'm a newly licensed medical doctor here in the Philippines. And if you also want to practice as a medical doctor here in the Philippines, there's one exam that you have to hurdle, and that is the Physician Licensure exam or the PLE. It's actually one of the longest board exams in the world. No, it spans 12 subjects and it consists of 1,200 questions. It's probably one of the longest exams that you'll ever take in your life because it also requires you to uh, take the exam for 4 different days. All right? And when you're studying for the physician licensure exam, it's pretty easy to get disheartened because of all the things that you have to know. And some people might be progressing faster than you, but you should know that you should stick to what style works for you. And this is my journey in passing the physician licensure exam recently held this October of 2022. Okay? And I'm going to be discussing some of the points that helped me pass this really hard and long exam. So, here are what I'm going to discuss. So, here I'm going to discuss these points. No? So, you should stick to one source that would help you understand the material more. So, this is where you're going to be getting most of the information that you will study for. Two, Pareto, the Pareto principle. So this is a principle created by Vilfredo Pareto, an Italian economist. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about active learning, right? Spaced repetition, etc. Making sure that you don't forget the concepts that you've already learned, and non-cognitive stuff. So we're going to be talking about that also. All right, so let's get into it. So when you're studying for the PLE, it's very easy to get distracted by all of the different sources that you have. No, there are different review centers. There are different materials. There's even the first aid for the USMLE. There are notes uploaded by different people. But the important thing to note is that you should have one singular source that contains everything that you need to know to pass the exam. And my choice of review center was actually Top Notch. So, Top Notch isn't paying me to say any of this, but just a quick disclaimer, that the owner of Top Notch is my brod from the UP College of Medicine, the Phi Kappa Mu, and I'm also working for them on some projects. So I might be a bit biased, but that is my experience when reviewing for the physician licensure exam. Everything that I needed to know to answer that exam was already present in the materials that they have. So I didn't really need to look for any other materials. And their summary lectures and the refresher lectures are top notch. Pun intended. But yeah, those were enough to reinforce the material that I need to know for the exam. And going into the review process, I accepted that I wouldn't be able to answer, or I wouldn't be able to cover everything. That's because, I'm not really good at memorizing things. I'm more I like math better, I like analyzing things better. But the name of the game for the physician licensure exam is memorization. But you have to note that there are around 20% of the material that's super high yield that will cover, or that will drive 80% of the results for the exam. And this is kind of true because even if you don't study all of the materials, okay, chances are if you studied enough, you will be able to pass the exam. It's identifying the 20% that drives the results that's difficult. But since you already chose their previous review center, as I mentioned, they have already identified what the key points are. That's why those are the ones present in the buzzwords. Those are the ones present in the flashcards. And those are usually emphasized during the summary and refresher lectures. And another keystone of reviewing for the physician licensure exam is active learning. So this is one of my favorite movies. This is Edge of Tomorrow, and the tagline there is "Live, die, and repeat." Of course, you're not gonna die reviewing for the PLE, but you need to test yourself. No, it's not enough that you read the material. The important thing is that you're able to test yourself. Because let's face it, the exam is a multiple choice exam. Even if you know the material, you need to practice uh, drawing from your memory, getting the information from your brain and into the test paper. That is important. That is active learning. You also have to repeat it because chances are you would have forgotten some of the concepts that you've read, even concepts that you've read days ago. It's possible for you to forget these concepts. That is why you have to repeat. And there are multiple platforms that help you do this. One is the open source app called Anki. Anki is used by a lot of medical students, most especially abroad, no, when they're studying for the US MLE. But there are also local decks that are available uh, that are more suited towards the physician licensure exam of the Philippines. I think there's the Dreadnought deck that some people use, and right now there's also the Hippocrates deck. You can search for them on Twitter. I haven't personally used those, but I've looked through the material and they seem pretty good. No, that's one material that you could use. And the good thing about Anki is that it automatically shows you the flashcards that you might have forgotten already. It has an algorithm following the Ebbinghaus forgetting curve. Okay, next point is that you should not miss the forest. So there's a quote, right, that says, never miss the forest for the trees. So you shouldn't just like go into like the different details of each disease, the treatment, the epidemiology, whatever, how to diagnose. The important part is that you should be able to zoom out. Okay, you zoom out and you're able to explain how these things are connected together. Because it's very easy to just memorize the details without really having a solid understanding or without having an outline in your head of how these topics are arranged. And that is the most important thing of all, because even if you do spaced repetition, even if you do active recall, if they're all unorganized in your head, it's going to be difficult to recall them. And that's also the reason why during my physician licensure exam review, I consolidated all of my notes in Apple Notes. You know, I have my learnings here. I have notes on the different subjects. So I have the pearls that I can review anytime. And the good thing about Apple Notes is that you're able to search even images. So you can search the text that are present in the images. So sometimes I see a very good figure or a drawing. I place it, I chuck it in Apple Notes, and I'm able to search them really fast, like in just 1 or 2 seconds. And I've been doing this since I was an intern, actually, no, since I was a clerk. That's why the other folders here are organ system based. So I have some soap notes here also. I have questions that I've asked in the past, like in different conferences. And I use it to be able to recall ideas that I've already digested before. So this is one thing that you should do. You should have a personal knowledge management tool, and my choice for this is Apple Notes. Some people use Obsidian, okay? Some people use RemNote. Some people use Notion. I think Notion would be the more popular option for personal knowledge management. But it's really up to you how you want to go about it. But just make sure that you have a system that helps you organize the information as they arrive. And finally, for reviewing for any board exam for that matter, you need to not neglect your body and you not neglect other portions that make you human, no? So this is the actually the motto of MIT is mens et manus. This means mind, no, mens and hands. But they also expanded it to include heart, so core, because one thing that people neglect during the board's review is meeting their friends, not talking with their parents, with their loved ones. It's very easy to get isolated. And one thing that really helped me cope with the amount of information that I need to digest every day, the grind of studying hours on end each day, was during the Saturdays. No, I would always have some time, well, a lot some time, to play badminton with some of the friends that I've made uh, in the course of my review. So these are the friends actually of one of my batchmates, Justin Santos, and then we played regularly in Pisay in different badminton courts, and from there, no, I'm able to uh, forget, no, forget that I am studying for one of the hardest exams in my life. And then after that, I feel refreshed and I'm able to go back to my studies and I'm able to study for a longer period of time. Because if you don't rest, no, if you don't rest, then you might get burnt out. And if you get burnt out, you might end up not studying for even longer periods of time. So rest is not for the weak. Rest is for the smart and strong. All right, so those are the 5 tips I have for you guys studying for the physician licensure exam. I'll still be posting a lot of different like study tips and like mnemonics and stuff over at my Twitter. It's at ChanJohnChan. I'll also be posting a lot of like different pre-med content because one of my advocacies is helping med people, right, students in general, become medical students. And you won't be able to become a doctor if you don't get a high grade at the end math. So if you like this video, if this helped you, please like it, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this.